What's going on? It's your boy Sermon at Sermon's Domain on Twitter. Snoop Dogg has released his 14th studio album titled Coolaid. It's the first rap album that he's put out in about 5 years. In 2013, he did the Snoop Lion thing with Reincarnated. In 2015, he did Bush, which was more on the singing side of it, like that pop vibe. And now he's back with Kool-Aid. And I gotta say, I was excited because I always liked Snoop Dogg as a rapper. I feel like, obviously, you gotta say Doggy Style is one of the best albums of all time. RNG was good, the Blue Carpet Treatment, and there was a few joints on a documentary too. So when it comes to Kool-Aid, I was excited. And once I started listening over and over, it got painfully clear that this is not the Snoop Dogg rap album that I wanted. Basically, Kool-Aid, the theme of it is kind of like stroking his ego. This is Snoop trying to remind people, this is my accomplishments. This is everything that I've done. And I think it's a fine concept. I mean, it works for a song such as Legend. But he goes overboard with it. There's so many references to like what he's accomplished and his status in the game, and it just gets overbearing at times. Going back to the record Legend, I liked it because I think it summed up some of his career highlights perfectly. Talking about how many records he sold, and then reminding people that he even beat the murder case back in '96. And I think if Legend was like the end of it, if that was the only record that he really talked about his accomplishments and who he is and what he's done, then I would be able to tolerate a lot more of the album. But it's not the end of it. The second song, 10 Toes Down, he reminds us that he was the first person to teach us about Crippin'. And you have a record like What If featuring Sugar Free, and that was probably one of the most anticipated records when I saw the track list, and I was like, yes, I like Sugar Free, and I was expecting some real slick pimp talk, but instead we get a record that kind of mirrors like a similar version of Jadakiss's Why. Snoop and Sugar kind of ask a bunch of hypothetical questions, and one of them, which annoyed me at this point because this is like almost the end of the album, so I've gone through a lot of these references about Snoop's status and his, being a legend, all that. And Sugar Free says, what if the West Coast didn't have a legend like Snoop Dogg? And once you get past that one line, the rest of the song is really good. Like I said, it reminds me of like a Jadakiss Why with like a West Coast twist about it. And then I don't know, there's multiple references, and that really killed the momentum for me. And another thing that killed it was the length of the album. In 2016, there's very few artists that can make a 20-track album appealing from start to finish. Snoop Dogg is not one of those people. He's always done better when his albums are like between, I think maybe 16 tracks is the most. Once you get over that, it's kind of like, too much. I mean, Doggy Style had 13, Bush had 10, I think Reincarnated was like 11 or 12. So him doing 20 songs leaves a lot of room for filler, and that's what I saw. Like Swizz Beatz, he's featured on 3 songs, and Swizz Beatz surprisingly is one of the highlight guest features besides Sugar Free, and then Too Short on Don't Know. I think Too Short and Snoop have good chemistry. It's not the best record they've done together, but I like that you can feel the track as if they were in the studio together. It wasn't something they mailed back and forth. But going back to Swizz Beatz, when Swizz Beatz is one of the best guest features on your album, that's kind of sad. I mean, you got Wiz Khalifa, you got Trick Trick, and you got a couple others, and none of the guest features really add too much. I think Swizz Beatz was good because he just did ad-libs at times, and then the most he did was like a hook. But like the other guest features just didn't add anything. And on the note of Wiz Khalifa, it got me thinking, like, Snoop and Wiz have done a lot of records together. They did the Mac and Devin Go to High School soundtrack / movie. And then they had a bunch of other records that appeared on both of their projects. And it had me wondering, do they actually have chemistry? Like, what is their ratio of good to bad records? Because I feel like whenever I listen to them, they just don't have that chemistry. There's a few good records here and there, yeah, but for them to collaborate so much, it doesn't feel like they have too much, chemistry besides being heavy weed smokers. Other than that, it's like, I don't know. And then for the most part, Snoop didn't try to appeal to like this generation. He didn't sell himself. The only record on there that really feels out of place is Double Tap That. It's a record with Jazzy Faye and E40, and it's exactly what you think it is. Double tap. It's a sliding into the DMs type of song. And to me, the beats were some of the highlights of the album. I mean, you have Just Blaze on 2 records. He has Super Crip, which, man, if that record had dropped in like the 90s, that would be probably one of the best Snoop Dogg songs like ever. Like, it's up there, at least production wise. Just Blaze really killed that, gave it a vintage West Coast type of sound, and Snoop went in. And then the other record that I enjoyed a lot was Kool-Aid Man, which comes right after that. But Just Blaze is also on Revolution. But at the same time, as appreciated as those 2 records are, I think I'm a little disappointed because Just Blaze did an interview that said he would be featured extensively on Snoop Dogg's Kool-Aid album. And Swizz Beatz has more production credits than Just Blaze, so it makes me think how much is going to sit in a vault somewhere or sit on a hard drive, never go heard, because Snoop is probably not going to use those records and Just Blaze might sell them to someone else. I don't know. But I wanted to see more Just Blaze because I think they have some good chemistry together. Ultimately, if Kool-Aid was shorter and, got rid of the filler, it would have sound better. In this day and age, 20 songs is way too much. And again, Snoop Dogg trying to remind us of his accomplishments and his achievements and, who he is in the industry. I'm a Snoop Dogg fan. I don't know who he was trying to market this album to. Like, are you marketing this to longtime Snoop Dogg fans, or are you marketing this to, like, this new generation? Because if that's the case, I don't think he did a really good job, because longtime Snoop Dogg fans are going to be excited because it's his first rap album in a while, and they're going to listen to this, but they're going to get all this legend talk, and it's like, okay, Snoop, we get it. Where are the more creative records, the hard-hitting songs? Because this is not it. So if Kool-Aid was shorter, maybe even an EP size, there's a lot of filler on here. So maybe if it was just an EP, or he added those Just Blaze records, it would be a lot more enjoyable on my behalf. But that's my take on Kool-Aid. Maybe you have a different perspective. So let me know what you think about Kool-Aid in the comment section below. Did you like the album more than I did? Please tell me what you enjoyed about the album, or what you didn't like that I didn't really talk about, discuss, debate, whatever. And then like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, share the video. Follow me on Twitter at Sermons Domain. And as always, thank you for your time. I appreciate you for watching. And until next time, peace.